Hi, Virginia. You asked a couple questions about the wiki assignment that you're confused about. Because you're an SLP major, it's hard for you to figure out perhaps how your wiki needs to look a little bit different. But I would say that most of your wiki needs to actually look the same. And I do not expect you to change a bunch of titles for me. For example, if you did the TechCast instead of BYOT podcast, and you're interested in figuring out how to change the title to TechCast and put your TechCast materials on that new page, you can do that for yourself because maybe that's appropriate and clear, accurate labeling. For my sake, it's okay with me if your page is called BYOT podcast and then I go to it and there is your TechCast. That is completely fine with me. It doesn't cause me a problem. But again, if it's something you need to do, then let's figure out how we do that. I'm going to show you how I would do that. There's a couple of options, but I think this is what I would do, just given my vast experience with wikis. I would actually create a brand new page. So I would go into Edit. Let me just slow down. I'm talking and doing at the same time. At the bottom of the navigation, you should have an Edit Navigation bar. I would come up here under BYT Podcast. I would create a new page called TechCast. Then you highlight it. You hit Link, Add Link, Save. Then go over to your BYT podcast page, and you're going to have all your stuff on this page. I might go into edit mode to do the copy. I don't think it doesn't always make a difference, but you might highlight all that, copy it, and then I cancel out of this, and then go to TechCast, edit, and paste. And keep in mind your page will have maybe a link to something, maybe it'll have a Word document. Now if it has a Word document, you may find that the linking does not work properly, and you actually have to replace that file. For example, you can go to, the way you would do that, because the file's in your wiki already, you have to go find it. So you use this button right here if that's the case, insert images and files, and then search through here. It could be that you have to scroll through, that you may have 10 or more files and they may not all be displayed here. So there may be multiple pages of files, but it would probably be a Word document. And let's see, you can even sort by type. But it's probably not necessary. You probably don't have too many files. So find your file in there and then click on it and then save. If you did indeed upload a file. But really a copy paste should be all you need to do on that. Okay? And then what you want to do, and I'm not going to, then what you're going to want to do is go back in here. Once your TechCast page is now replacing your BYOT podcast page, you would delete the BYOT podcast page, which I'm actually not going to do because I don't want to delete the BYOT podcast page. So I'm actually going to remove this because I'm just going to leave it like this. All right. What else on your wiki? Teacher welcome video, you did that. Readings, same thing. Digital movie, same thing. Assistive tech project, same thing, right? These are all things that SLPs also did in some form or fashion. Unit plan modification, on the other hand, you may not have chosen to do that. And if you did not, then all you have to do is go to Edit Navigation and delete the thing. You could even leave it there and you could put a note. Okay, so let me slow down. I get excited. So delete that and then hit Save if that's the option you want to do. But if you want to leave it there too, that's fine. You can go there, hit Edit, and then just type in there, I did the discussion about telepractice. Or there's even another alternative beyond that. I did an interview of a practicing SLP. And you could type that message there if you want to just leave it there as sort of a placeholder to remind you what you did instead. Promethean flip chart, you guys did those too, so you'll just post that here. Tech explorations, you guys do those as well. And NetsT, what to do here? Well, this is where it's a little bit of a stretch, I think, for you guys as SLPs, except there is the argument that you could potentially end up in a K-12 school. You may not know it now, it may not be your plan, but you could do that. And arguably part of our responsibility in these classes that you take is to make sure that you are aware of things in schools and the way you should be thinking about technology and teaching and that kind of thing. Even though I know you guys don't often think of yourselves as teachers, I would argue that you are a kind of teacher. You teach and you train and you retrain and you help students learn how to do things, how to improve their speech and things like that. And there's other things you do. There's not just a cold clinical therapy kind of thing. You have relationships and you have to motivate your students and all that kind of stuff. There's a huge overlap between what you do and what other teachers in an elementary school, for example, might do, maybe a special ed teacher. So I would argue that you could use these standards to guide a self-assessment. If you don't find these stirring you at all, you can go and locate the ASHA standards and somehow copy paste them on this page and just indicate which standards you think you're working on. The point of this was I got these standards. These are standards that guide teachers in the use of technology, and the purpose was for you guys to write yes or no next to this. Yes meaning, yeah, I think I can do this. I can promote, support, and model creative and innovative thinking and inventiveness for my students. Or you would put no. So you just leave yes or no there depending on what you think that you can do. So you can choose to do that, or if you prefer, you can remove these standards, put the ASHA ones in there, and kind of dialogue with those about where you think you're at. And I haven't read the ASHA standards lately. They may have a piece on technology also, but I'm going to let you decide what you're going to do on that. I'm not concerned if they don't have technology in them. I bet they do, though. So I would be particularly interested in what you think about your use of technology against those standards if you were to choose those. So it's really just a way for you to reflect on your where you think you are right now. A lot of folks put no in every column, and honestly, if I were to self-assess, I'd probably put no in at least half of them because I'm really hard on myself. And I figure I just feel like I have a lot to learn with the use of technology. So it just depends. This is completely up to you where you think that you're at. There may be something in here that you find interesting, and then the point of it is you take what you've got here. Let's say there's a bunch of no's on this first standard. That might be something you want to work on, because all of us educators should probably be working on our craft and how we can improve on things. Every year we should set a few goals and try to get better at what we're doing. And so that's the point of this. It's just to help you locate areas where you might want to set new goals, simple, small goals. You don't have to tackle everything at once. It could be you put no on everything, or you put no on everything on the ASHA standards. It's just the point is to take it over to the next step, to the SWOT and goals, where you're reflecting on your strengths and weaknesses. And it could be that one of the areas you identified in the NETS-T, or if you use ASHA standards, is an area of weakness that you could work on and try to tie this whole thing into your use of technology. So that's the point of that. It's really just a little quick reflective exercise against some standards that are widely accepted, and both the ASHA and the NETS-T are widely accepted in the fields of teaching and speech language. And speech language pathology. So either one will work if these don't stir you and you don't feel like they apply to you at all. Let's see. I'm looking at your email again now. I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what further questions I may have stirred up in all of this, or if I need to clarify anything further. All right. Thanks, Virginia.